It's happening, guys. Bonjour, hola, various international greetings for international seasons and that. How's everyone feeling right now? We're feeling hot, as you can see. It's a heat wave in London. We're hot. We're in vest. We're out here hot. But you know what else is hot? The fact that we hit over 500 subscribers. Let's get a clap, boys. Let's get a clap. Let's get a clap. Let's get a clap. But that's not it, guys. We need your help. Please help us get to 1K. You know, it'll be excellent. It'll be a fantastic moment for us. You know, we've just started this channel not too long ago, and with your support, we've got this far. So please help us get to the next step. And you know, the content will reach all new highs. Reach for the stars at S Club 7. Yeah. What we're going to be talking about today is two of the biggest artists of the past decade and the decade before. We're talking about the Louis Vuitton Don, Kanye West, and Drizzy Drake. We're talking Donda and Certified Lover Boy. We're going to review each album, and then towards the end, we're going to have a discussion, you know, of what we thought about both these albums, paired against each other, what we liked, what we didn't like, and, you know, we're going to come to some sort of conclusion. But with that being said, let's start with the first album that came out, and let's start with Donda. Kay, what are your thoughts on Donda, bro? What did you like? What were you liking?
I didn't like anything of Donda. Kanye for me has progressively got worse as a musician. The lack of, fine tuning that he was known for, and the maximalism and his sound. You get me? Like early Ye, or the Ye between his debut album up until Yeezus, which was 2012, 2013, his own individual work, and not talking really collaboration, was a high watermark moment. And now with Donda, we get an album that is too long. Some of the songs don't sound like they're literally finished. They sound like literally concepts. And it's a very sort of a drag listening to the entire album, because also how long it is, and just there's a lack of like great records on it for me. Like he used to have loads of like standout record or songs that were B-sides that still sounded amazing. But on this album, I don't get enough of that. And also we continuously get that whole sort of redemption narrative that Kanye sort of been going on for I don't know how long it is, and it doesn't seem to be never ending. And then you put on top with the controversy with Marilyn Manson and the baby. And it's just like, yo, you're just confused. And to be honest, I've checked out long time from Kanye's individual work, from Life of Pablo. I didn't even like Life of Pablo, but this doesn't compare. But I found this album to have loads of holes in it. And it's one of those, I think it's in my category of worst album of the year. Like It's definitely front runner for the worst album that I have heard this year. So yeah.
Hey, that's some big thoughts, bro. Henry, do you share the same sentiments?
To some extent. Obviously, you might know that, like, for me, along with Kendrick, Kanye is like my favorite artist. So obviously, I'm coming at this from a different perspective. And obviously, I just want to put a little disclaimer. When I'm talking about this album, and when I'm talking about Kanye, for me, I have the highest expectations, do you understand, of my man. So I'm basing it off of that. Do you get it? So with that being said, to me, this album is not great. Like obviously comparing it to Kanye's other albums, this is definitely at the bottom of his discography, in my opinion. Yeah. I do think it's somewhat better than Jesus is King. But like Kay was saying, I just feel like this is very bloated. It's very bloated. It seems unfinished, even though like he took like a year or so to make this album.
Even 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this is very, very unfinished, very rushed, very bloated. I mean, this is a 27-song album. Like how? You know what I mean? Like how? Why is there this many songs in it? Why is there this many features on it?
Yeah.
That's a good point. I remember telling Kay that, as soon as I saw like literally 15 to 20 features on this album, I said, you know what? Nah, I have a bad feeling about this, you know? And even him working with the likes of the baby, you know how I feel about the baby, you understand? I feel like he's one of the worst artists in history, you understand? And for him to, you know what I mean, to be on this album, I said, nah, like Kanye, yeah, when Kanye was focused, yeah, when he was like on game, an artist like the baby would not be on this. Do you understand? Because he would offer nothing, you know what I mean? I'm even trying to get the baby in it, like, you know, obviously the baby, you're doing your thing, but like as an artist, I don't think you're that in it. So for me, yeah, like for me, yeah, for the likes of the baby to be on this album, yeah, this goes to show you that Kanye is not really focused. And yeah, man, I just felt like this was just too long. There are some bright moments on here. Like initially when I listened to this, yeah, I thought it was just absolutely shit. You know, Kanye standards, obviously I have to say that. Like I thought it was shit. You know what I mean? But I've taken it and listened to it again, and it's not as bad as I first thought. But you know, like I said, Kanye standards, like this album to me is just not it. You know, it's very, it's more missed than hit. You know, and it's not like, for me, yeah, I struggled to get through this album.
Yes,
I struggled to get through. Like it was literally a slog for man. And for me to say that of a Kanye project, it's very disappointing. So yeah, man, like this album for me, I don't even think I'm gonna go back to it. I may take a few songs from it, like maybe 4 or 5, but apart from that, nah, man.
It's do you know what it is, yeah? It's such, and what you said before, I definitely wholly agree with you, where you basically were saying how Kanye has kind of set himself such a high standard that like for us, let's be real in it. Like if another artist was to produce this, for them it would be a good album. But for Kanye West, for what he has done over the past 20 odd years, has been incredible. And obviously we have such high expectations for him. That's one thing that I definitely wholeheartedly agree with. For me, one of my biggest issues with the album, like just to say that I think the album is average. You get me? I don't think it's shit. You get me? I don't think it's actually shit, but I actually don't think it's good. I think it's average. One of the things that I did not appreciate as well, like for me, when I found out that he was naming the album after his late mum, I was like, yo, this thing right here is essentially what this guy's needed to do his whole career. Like that, his mother's death has kind of like loomed over him ever since this happened, and it's been the inspiration for a lot of albums in terms of like 808s and Heartbreaks. You know, my beautiful dark twisted fantasy. Even Yeezus to a certain extent, you could say like a lot of these more, let's be the more angry Kanye happened after his mum died, and the more emotional Kanye happened after. So what I assumed from this album was a powerful, focused album, essentially dealing with grief, and dealing with coming out of grief from the other side, or maybe not coming out of grief from the other side, but just being real with yourself. You feel me?
And you spoke about divorce as well, like you were saying, yeah.
Exactly, fam. And I didn't get any of that. For me, it's his most unfocused album, fam. It's so unfocused. It's like obviously the only common link is the religious link. For me, that's it.
Yeah.
That is literally the only common link throughout the whole album. Yeah, what were you gonna say, again?
Yeah, no, and adding on to your point, like you're saying, or like he intended the album to be like a homage to his mum, but the whole album is just the focus about him. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like if it's supposed to be a homage to your mum, and also grief, because that's connected, you know, to obviously to what had happened. That would have been better, but we don't get that. It's, you know, and when we get it, it's on a record with, you know, under 3,000, which like with a phenomenal verse that we don't know if ever will be officially released. So yeah. I mean, it's just disappointing. But yeah, go on. You were saying, Jay.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I was saying. Just to touch on that track, then we're gonna talk about it more later on. Like that was what I wanted from this album.
Yeah,
like, that is what I wanted. Like Andre's verse, literally, like for me, the best verse that has never come out in.
It's never been officially released. Yeah.
Officially released. Like literally, I've been replaying that over and over. What we're talking about is the life of the party. That was supposedly leaked by the OVO camp.
but Drizzy Drake himself,
by Drizzy Drake himself, his hottest drop.
Yeah, did you get me?
It's whatever. But essentially, in Andre's verse, he's talking about dealing with the grief of losing his mother, and essentially asking Kanye's mum, like, have you seen my mom? Have you done this? Have you done that? X, Y, Z. It's perfect. Kanye even briefly speaks about these issues himself, and it's amazing, fam. And I'm like, where is this type of focus on the actual album? Like, where is it? Because that's what we needed. One thing we didn't get from Donda is we did not get, it's going to sound so mad, Jeff. I don't think we got a fitting tribute, fam. We didn't get.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. But again, it's like maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Like, has he dealt with it or has he not dealt with it? I mean,
I think that's the question that's up for debate in it, because everyone has been saying literally since his mum died, like in terms of like his mental stability and what he's been doing, it's gone down.
It's been kind of going downhill.
Exactly, going downhill. But in terms of music, after she died, like he still was making incredible music. You feel me?
Yeah, he was.
And like one thing I would have at least appreciated if there was like a common emotion throughout the album. Like I said, apart from the religious link, like if there was just like Jesus, there was anger. Like
I mean, sorry to cut you off, but like there's a lack of thematic connection and a lack of emotional connection throughout the album. Like 100%, you're 100% right, and that's what makes it so difficult to listen to the album, because you feel like you're getting demos, or do you get me, or ideas, but you're not getting a full fleshed out done album. And that goes back to the Lauryn Hill record, Lauryn Hill sample on that album as well. Like old Kanye would have put synths in it, would have put mad bass in it, fam, would have like had like another like split part with a sample over there. Like he would have made that track, much fatter. But with this one, essentially we get like a nice little bass line and just a little outro. And again, it shows that I feel like he's just too busy. Like he's just too busy. He's got a lot going on. And the Kanye before, most of the time music was his sole focus. This Kanye is fucking running a company. You can't do both and expect to release a great album. It's just too much work.
It's such an interesting one, man, because I feel like you said ultimately, and I think we agree, it just sounds like a lot of unfinished ideas, and the track listing obviously goes to prove that, where he's just like, okay, everything.
Give them all, give it all.
Yeah, and even just the way that this album came out, like it came out randomly on a Sunday. I mean,
after 3 listening sessions.
Exactly, like randomly on a Sunday. Like, I mean, how many albums do you know that has dropped on a Sunday?
And the thing is, like, I in a way I get it, innit? Because the religious aspect of it, I do kind of get it. And even though Kanye says he didn't release it himself, like the label did it.
That's a lie, fam. Henry, you clarified it, and he said that was a lie, fam.
Yeah, it's a lie still. It's a lie.
But that's what I'm saying, where it's kind of like it just feels like so random and so all over the place. And what you said before, Henry, do you know what? Yeah, like for me, like one thing that I've seen with Kanye is he's actually worked with so many random artists, but he's made it work.
Yeah.
From like Paul Wall to like I'm not like The Game to freaking Kevin's
07 Shake.
Yeah, bro. Oh, you get me? All of them, like,
fam, loads of people,
and somehow like he makes it work for the album. He'll be like for example, like off the top of my head, Paul Wall Drive Slow, not. It's incredible, but he's not saying a damn word about what Kanye is talking about, but it works.
Bro, Paul Wall sounds so hard on that.
Yeah.
He sounds hard. He knows what he's doing, but I kind of, like you said in this one, I feel like Kanye just said, "Who's hot right now?" The Locks just did a verses. Get him in. Little Dirk, Baby Keem, like Playboy Carti, like get everyone in. Get him on in. I want him.
I think, to extend on to your point, Kanye's great ability earlier on, or up until 2000 and up until Yeezus, was to get, it might have been Arca, electronic producer, and Chief Keef, get these two different opposing artists and mix them into this idea or the sonic vision that he had. Do you get me? And make sure that they fit in line with this vision. But 100%, like you're saying right now, is the element of collaboration is still there. Do you get me? But it's not as fine-tuned. And don't get me wrong, this Donda album is still a Kanye album, which I'm super happy that it is. Do you get me? Like, what makes Kanye so great is that he essentially every single album or songs of his, it's him. Do you get me? It's his musical DNA in it. Like he's not an artist that sounds like anyone else. And that's what's great about this album. But then also there are some time where he probably does veneer too much to the point of sounding a bit like Playboy Carti on one of the Playboy Carti record, and then also other records as well. So I just feel like with Kanye right now, and I think I've been saying it probably since Yeezus, like, yo, just produce for other people, collaborate with other people. But other than that, just leave, don't release shit unless you're going to tell yourself, yo, I'm gonna focus on this solely, and this clothing thing, you know what, I'm only gonna deal with it when I need to deal with it, but I'm just gonna focus on this. Then I think we are able to get stuff like Kids See Ghost that came out 2018, which is a phenomenal. I think Kids See Ghost probably on a mental health perspective is fantastic, and I think there's also some religious element to it. I can't necessarily remember, but I think that was a much better album in terms of like Kanye battling with his soul and battling with redemption, and you know, trying to seek what's it called, salvation from God. I think that is a much better and interesting album, and also my beautiful artistic fantasy in some bits as well than this album. So we kind of get a rehash of loads of same themes that Kanye's been going through with probably for a decade now. I think so. It is what it is, really. I mean,
what are we saying? High points, boys. What were? I know we've just basically stated the album. What are the high points? What are your favorite tracks? H, let me start with you.
I'll say probably the high points are sort of towards the end of the album. You know, like I think the latter part of the album is the best part. You understand? Like I think obviously, I mean, I've got a shout out. You know, Off the Grid. I kind of like that one. That was the fourth track.
Off the grid. Oh God, yeah.
That was alright. That was alright. But I'll say, yeah, like definitely the last parts of the album were the best. So I'll say probably Keep My Spirit Alive, Jesus is Lord, Tell the Vision, Pure Souls, Lord I Need You. So those are the 5 tracks that I feel like were the high points of this album. You understand? And obviously, coincidentally, those are all towards the end of the album. So, yeah, like, I mean, apart from that, again, I wasn't really feeling anything, but probably those 5 or 6 records, maybe, you know, I feel like were the high points. And I feel like as well, like, because I feel some of the features on here did work. Like the Conway the Machine one, I feel like that was a strong feature.
He's a West Side. No, that's Conway Machine. Sorry, I keep confusing. Conway the West Side Gun, innit?
West Side Gun was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Conway the Machine, that feature was pretty dope. You understand? And I think a couple of other features as well, I can't remember off the top of my head, were pretty dope.
J Electronica had a nice.
Yeah, the nice one. Yeah.
5 Year Foreign as well. 5 Year Foreign as well.
Yeah. See, because this album is so like sometimes I can't.
It takes you lose focus. Like
you lose focus. I know. I know. Obviously, the likes of J Electronica, you know, what's it called, Comedy Machine, etc. They had some pretty decent verses on here. Jay-Z verse was alright as well.
Oh yeah, but maybe the image of God. That's a selfie. Yeah, that's one of the lines.
It was decent. Yeah, that's me though. Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, I would agree with you. Like for me, it's the other way actually. For me, I actually preferred the first half of the album. So I preferred for me, Off the Grid. I like that a lot.
Off the Grid. I know. He's that one still.
You get me. As soon as I heard the drill, I was like, okay, violent. So I like that. Like you said, I like 5 Year Foreign's verse. I'm gonna be real with me. I think the majority of the features were a hit for me. Like the majority of them, more than were bad, were good. Like 5 Year Foreign, I like Baby Keem. I like Playboy Carti to a certain extent. I like
even Dirk, even Dirk, you know, he did alright on that one still.
Yeah. I don't know. So I swear he had like a really like a heartfelt verse, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. When he's talking about his brother dying.
Yeah, the recent deaths. Yeah, it was quite a heartfelt verse by Lil Durk for sure. Yeah.
It was a good feature still.
Such a good feature, fam. For me, I had to listen to that 2 times, bro. I was like, what? He said Kanye and Jay-Z are both brothers. They're both billionaires. Me and my brother, I had to see my brother die when we became millionaires. I was like, hey!
Yeah. Facts. It's something about his brother dying with a chain on. I call that blood diamond or something. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying for him, bro. Like, it was very good verse. Like, I agree. The West Side Gun one, Conway the Machine, J Electricity, PBS Mystery. Even the Locks, you know, like killed it. Like even the Locks, like if you listen to their verse, like especially what's my guy's name, Sheik Nooch, fam. He marked it, fam. His verse was probably one of the best verses of his whole career, fam. It was a good, fam. You could tell they came straight off the verse. Like, we need to rap now.
Yeah, do you get me? We got
the energy, fam. But yeah, for me, those were the high points, man. The features and like the first half. What about yourself, Kevin?
I didn't like any of it. I mean, to be fair, I do agree with some of you lot's points, and I know I'm being a bit harsh or maybe too harsh. And again, it comes down to just, you know, musical hype on that he was and how low barrel it's all gone now. But I think for me, my favorite record is Believe What I Say, the Lauryn Hill one. That's the record. But I'm still listening to it. I'm like, yo, fam, yay. If this was 2005, 2007, graduation year would have put some disgusting synths on top of that. Like, it would have sounded luxurious and beautiful, fam. So yeah, I can't lie. I just have to piggyback. If you lot like, I just have to piggyback what the features that you lot like, and I agree to some extent. And also, there was this interesting spoken piece by Larry Hoover Jr., fam, talking about his wanting his dad, isn't it, to come back from jail, to be released from jail. I remember hearing it, and I was conflicted. I'm like, this is a man who's caused tremendous amount of damage, and then you're vouching for him to come back. But then he also said something quite interesting, which was, if I know my dad, the reason why I want him to come back is because I know that he's not the same person that he was before. So really interesting, moral conflicting moments, which is actually a good thing. I think I like it when art does that. But other than that, yeah, you can just throw the whole thing in the bin, and there's better music out there. That's my opinion, anyway.
Can I just say one last thing?
Yeah, go on.
Going back on my favorite track that was unreleased, the Andre 3000.
Yeah.
That one, bruv, the ending I thought was so beautiful and heartbreaking, fam. When DMX was talking to his daughter, fam, I was like, this is so beautiful, but also so sad, man. Yeah. But anyways, enough of Kanye for now. Let's go on to the sixth God. Six.
Oh, no, we need to do. Sorry. We do scores at the end.
Let's do. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, cool. Anyways, guys, let's get into the nitty gritty. Enough of this nonsense. Let's talk about scores. Kevin, what are we saying? Out of 10.
I'll probably give you like a 2.
Hey, God damn.
I'll give it like a 2, man. I'm so sorry. Bro, I just like, bro, Kanye, all you man know that Kanye is like, bro, but this is, but even if this was another artist, I still will give it the same amount of score because it's unacceptable for me. So I'll give it 2.
H.
Kanye standards, yeah. So obviously I'm rating it based on that, innit? I'm rating it based on that. I'll give it like a strong 5 still.
Okay.
A strong 5. Kanye standards, innit? You know what I mean?
I'm similar with H, man. I'll give it a strong 5, like a 5.5 or something. Like, it's an average album to me. Like, it's slam back, like it's in the middle. Like we've all said, like we take some songs off it, but we're not gonna replay the whole album over and over.
Yeah.
Like previous albums, man. Yeah, man, you get me, fam. We need to have words with you.
It's true. At this point, obviously, just before we move on to the sixth God. At this point, like I think Ye would never, in my opinion, Ye, just in terms of musically, would never really fully tarnish his legacy. But this is about 2 or 3 dud albums in a row, innit? You understand? And it's starting to get a bit like, yo, innit? You need to, like, you know what I mean? I can't take another one. But like Kevin correctly said, either just focus on the fashion thing full time, and become a producer part time, or show the fashion thing for at least a year and focus on the music and give us one more classic. You know what I'm saying? Give us one more classic, or give us one more very good album. We'll be done with it. Other than that, just allow it, because it's starting to become, because it's it's starting to become like, yo, nah, man, no. This is unacceptable now. You understand?
100%. I 100% agree with you guys, fam. Like we said, when we see you, it's on site.
It's on site. It's on site, man.
We off the agree.
Oh my kid. Anyway.
God.
Let's get into the sixth God. himself,
Yeah.
Drizzy Drake, the certified lover boy. This album has been teased since 2019. This guy, teasing this album for a very long time, fam. It was meant to come out last year, obviously due to lockdown and stuff. He strategically pushed it back to this year, and here we are. It came out, and to be fair, similar to Ye's album, there was no rollout. It was just like, it's coming out on Saturday, and it just came out.
Normally there'll be like a single to accompany the sort of, you know, even remember Laugh Now Cry Later, that's not even on this album.
Yeah,
that's gonna be on here. So yeah, man, it's pretty strange still. So
very strange for Drake, fam. But obviously, you know, when you're someone like Drake, he obviously knows who he is, fam. He doesn't need to do that, fam.
Yeah, no, for real.
But what are we saying, fam? Let me start with UK, fam. What are we saying about Drake's certified lover boy?
Oh God. I mean, it started off all right with the whole Masego sample, and I believe that's the name of the song. Champagne Poetry was a little bit nice, but as the album progresses, then it's like, oh, hello darkness, my only friend. Because it's like Drake again. It's just like I've heard this for years now, and it's just again there is nothing new, and it becomes such a slog listening to this album as well. But I have to say, I was so happy when Way Too Sexy came on. I thought. I
didn't expect it.
I didn't expect it, and I was like, I want to laugh. Thank you. And it made me add the sample. And I'm like, how the fuck have I never had this record onto my playlist? So I'm happy about that, and I'm happy about the video. But overall, I mean, there is some interesting, production element there and then. But again, narrative-wise, we're getting on the same Drake about his love life, and I can't lie, the guy is just toxic. It's just bruv, it's just toxic. And again, it's just empty. This album is empty and soulless. It doesn't move you. By the time that I was done with it, I was just completely bored. But I did like Knife Talk as well, and the sample this one, and along with 21 Savage as well. And also Thames, some of his singing on Fountain was quite nice. But other than that, I also got this album to be a very poor album as well. Very poor album as well. So yeah, what about you, man?
Okay, I hate what you said.
Yeah, no, obviously initially, I thought I preferred this album more than I did with Donda, even though I feel like this album is very boring.
I remember you've got the advanced listen, isn't it? And you're like, yo, it's better, you know.
Yeah. I thought it was better, innit? Obviously, because I don't know, maybe I was just in my feelings with Ye, innit? I was just so in my feelings with Ye, and I was like, you need to suffer, innit? You understand? Like Drake needs to, But then obviously taking another listen to it again. I mean, there are some good moments, but I feel like, see, my problem with Drake is, man plays it safe, innit? And he's played it safe, since Views. So he's played it very, very safe. Obviously, the More Life tape, that was all right, innit? That wasn't bad, but I feel like for the past 4 or 5 years, this guy's played it way too safe. At least with Kanye, like he takes risks. You understand? That's why for me now, I'm preferring Donda over this, because at least with Kanye, like he would try something different. Do you get it? But with Drake, he plays it way too safe. And I mean, I've heard this Drake before. Do you get it? Like I've heard this version of Drake before. Like this doesn't move me. Do you understand? Like this doesn't be like all of this, like in your feelings, I've got no friends. I mean, how long has this nigga been talking about? You know what I'm saying? How long has this nigga been saying that he hasn't got no friends? You understand? And people are out to get him and all of that. How long has he been saying this for?
Fam. And the funny thing is, he's the biggest artist in the industry, fam. He's got plenty of friends, fam.
That's what like if you have no new friends if you like, for example, track number 12, no friends in the industry. Okay, if that's the case, why am I seeing all these features then? It doesn't make sense, fam. It doesn't make sense. That's a good point. I don't understand, bro. Like,
what's the logic?
Bro, it's just bare light skin behavior, fam. And then, again, talking about, have you man even deep here? Like, even on Donda, Kanye doesn't address the Drake thing once. You understand, in any of the songs. And there's 27 songs on that album. But with this one, there's like 2 or 3 tracks where he's addressing, shit from 2 or 3 years ago. It's like, Drake, let it go, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let it go, fam.
Feelings in there from what Pusha T did, in there, fam.
Oh, no, but I'm saying, address Pusha, don't address Kanye, fam. You understand?
You don't want that cocaine smoke, bro.
You don't want that cocaine smoke, fam. Because think about it, Pusha's the one that did the damage. So it's like, why are you constantly addressing Kanye? when you know Kanye's not going to defend himself. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's the truth, fam. It's the truth. So it's like, bro, like, again, yeah, there are some highlights, you know, like Champagne Poetry. That reminds me of, you know, Tuscan Leather. You understand? From Nothing Was the Same. Yeah, but it's good because I like the album. I personally feel that's Drake's best album. You understand?
Yeah.
And I liked Tuscan Leather, so that kind of, you know, was a little throwback. Puppy's Home, good little song. I like that. What's it called? Obviously, the Love All track. Do you know it's the problem that I have with Drizzy on this thing is he gets outshined by every single feature, in my opinion, on this album. He gets outshined by every single man. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Jay-Z, whether it's Travis Scott, you know, whether it's Yebba, obviously, you know, Thames, you know, like Ty Dolla $ign, like, he gets outshined by every single feature, in my opinion. Do you get it? So, I mean, yeah, like, bro, like I just, man, this is just same mode, isn't it? Same old Drizzy. It's not like, for me, it's not like terribly bad, but it's not great either. It's not great either. Like this album, apart from, again, 4 or 5 records, I'm not gonna go back to this thing. I'm not gonna go back to it. So yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, sorry, hold on one second. Do you know what? Yeah, I could not agree with you guys more. I think for me, the biggest problem with this album is it's the same old Drake. Same old Drake. We knew as soon as I heard the first track, I can't lie, I knew exactly what type of track it was going to be. He's just going to be spitting non-stop for the whole track, talking about his problems, talking about this is what we're doing now. I came here and now I'm here. 100 million, like, bro, the same old Drake. There's been no career development. It's mad. Like, and I guess, do you know what? Yeah, in a way, I understand it. Yeah, because when you become an established artist, not many established artists push themselves to go further. Not many. Like in the beginning of his career, from the So Far God mixtape to, for me, I would say to when you're hearing this, it's too late. Like he was trying different things, he was trying different sounds, he was rapping about different things, the energy was different. But at that point, I feel like he got to the point where he was like, do you know what, whatever I do is gonna sell. So I know what I have to do. I have to have a song where it's 4 a.m. in Gibraltar. 4 a.m. I have to have one of them songs. Then I have to have a song with the ladies. Then I have to have a song with the trappers. Then I have to have a song with an up-and-coming rapper. Then I have to have a song with this person and then this person. And then an old school guy like Jay-Z or Rick Ross. And we're good.
You get me? For the validation for the streets, innit? Do you get
it's like the formula, yeah, we know the formula already, innit?
We know the formula, and the thing is, the worst thing about it is it's still gonna work. People are gonna listen and gonna buy it and gonna be like blah blah blah. And do you know what it is? That for me, it's the casual fan as well. It's the casual fan who listens, who likes Drake, loves Drizzy, will go to every single wireless or every single performance because they love him. And to be fair, he is the artist of the last decade. He is. We can't deny that whatsoever. We're not critically, but in terms of impact.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of
facts. It's the truth. You can't get away from that.
You cannot get away from him. But like we said, fam, I thoroughly agree with you when he got outshined by every single feature, and it's like Jay-Z. Hey, I didn't even think that was one of Jay-Z's best verses. And
it wasn't. It didn't have to be. It didn't have to be. That's the problem.
It did not have to be, fam. This guy. Hey, I remember I was driving when he says, "People know the price of everything, but the value of nothing." I nearly collapsed, fam. I had to stop the car, fam, so I could deep it, fam. I had to really stop it. And then, like you said, Travis, I didn't expect it, fam. My guy came with 2 flows, fam. I was like, hey, Travis, the fame. I was like, fam, I didn't expect it. Yeah, but fam, this girl made me want to get engaged, fam. I was like, yes, I do as well, fam.
Oh, my days, yeah.
And the thing is, I can't even lie, fam. For me, like, the most enjoyable song to me, like, Way Too Sexy. In the beginning, I heard it. I was like, "This is terrible," and I listened to it again. I was like, "It's kind of fun, you know." It's a fun song, fam. It's a fun song. I'm here for it, fam. But yeah, I think. Listen, if this album came out when Views came out, I'd be like, "It's a good album, you know. I like it. Like, it's a decent album, fam." But like we've all like said, it's the same old Drake, fam. It's the same old Drake. It's it's Drake is gonna do what Drake does, and that's it, fam. So like in terms of, I might as well start with myself. Like in terms of with highlights of the album, for me, it would be the Yebba song. It would be the first song, Champagne Poetry. As much as I was trying to share, I actually did like it. The song with Jay-Z, like All Love. What else did I like, fam? I liked In Too Deep. And I think that is about it. Where I was like, yeah, I'm into these songs. For me, that was it, man. What about you, H?
Yeah, for me, like I said, it was Champagne Poetry. You know, reminded me of, you know, Tuscan Leather. You know, old school Drake. Nothing was the same. Puppy Song, I think was all right. Fair Trade with Travis Scott. I actually think that was a good track. Yeah.
Let me add that to mine.
I think Travis did his thing on that. Obviously, overshadowed Drake, but I didn't think Drake did too bad. But just Travis owned that track. Yeah, the Yebba track. You know, No Friends in the Industry. Feel was all right. Knife Talk. You know, and then probably Fountains with Thames. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just say I love Project Pat, you know. Coming through like a blood
Project Pat's always got that energy, fam.
Yes, no, for real.
This guy hasn't changed his flow for 30 years and it's still hard, fam. Okay, what we saying?
Yeah, for me, Champagne Poetry, Way Too Sexy, and Knife Talk. But I think with Champagne Poetry, it's the elements. Like, it does sound expensive. So the Way Too Sexy is quite fun. But I think I like the video more than I like the song. But I do like some elements of the song. And with Knife Talk is definitely some of the sample element and the Project Patch element. And also 21 Savage, even though he has the same flow as well with it. When 21 Savage sounds, menacing, it always sounds menacing, fam. But other than that, I think that's it for me. You know, I didn't add those songs that I mentioned, but for those were the standouts for me anyway. So yeah.
So with that being said, Kay, what are you rating the album out of 10?
I think I'll give this album a higher score than Donda, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because it sounds a little bit more. It sounds polished, even though it's kind of boring album. So I'll give this album a 4.
Fair enough. Below average.
It's a poor album. I can't lie. It is a poor album. It's a poor album. They're both poor albums, in my opinion. But I give this album a 4 because at least I'm not getting like ideas. I'm getting like finished songs. You get me?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I score it up. So that's it. You know, really. Yeah.
H, what you say?
Yeah, for me, obviously, you know, I really done that high 5. And, you know, initially I thought, you know, I preferred CLB, but I do feel like Donda overall is the better album, innit? I can't lie, I've changed my opinion, but like it's not by much, innit? You know, so I gave Donda a high 5. I'm gonna give this a low 5 or middle 5. You understand? So yeah, both for 5, but Donda slightly higher in terms of the 5, innit?
I would say I can't lie. For me, I took it off how many tracks I took off the album. I actually took more tracks off Drake's album than Donda. So I would give. I'm gonna give this a 6. You know,
okay,
like a low 6. I'm gonna give it a low 6. You get me? Like, you listen. I guess people could say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm gonna give it a low 6, fam. But with that being said, boys, we're gonna have to get into it, fam. These albums came out within a week of each other, fam. In the same week, if we're gonna be real. What album is better? I kind of feel like we've touched on it a bit. We've been like, you know, we like this and we like this album, we like that and that. But what album is better? And I kind of feel like the only reason we kind of have to compare these guys is, unfortunately, you know, for some nonsense reasons, these guys have had some issues in the past that initially related from music. You get me? So people don't know. There's been Kanye and Jake have been working together literally since Drake's
beginning. Yeah,
since the beginning. His like first album.
He worked on one of the tracks off of Fake Relate. I think it was
Love.
No, I think he did produce So Far Gone. You Can Be My Everything. Wasn't he produced Best I Ever Had? Did he not produce that? Well, he did
he directed. He produced the video. The music video. He didn't produce the song. That was 40.
Okay.
He produced the song. He produced the music video.
Yeah,
so directed it. Or directed,
He directed. I think that was Kanye West's first video as well. Funny enough, bro.
Yeah.
So these guys have been working with each other, in fact, for literally over 10 years. And you know, since then, I guess egos have gotten away. Tracks, you get me. Certain things have gotten away where they haven't been able to be a solid unit together.
Yeah,
so,
it's been very on and off. It's been very on and off.
So on and off, and we've seen things like Kanye leaking Drake's freaking address.
Yeah,
so Drake leaking the best single of the year. Like, boys, like, what are we saying right now? We're talking about two artists who have had some of the highest highs. And sorry, just briefly, because you know it's on my head now. Like, just talk about sales. Drake has outsold Kanye, but I don't think that's a surprise to any of us.
Yeah.
Drake is a streaming king, isn't it? So I think Kanye sold like 330, and Drake is on track to sell upwards of 590 to 630 or something like that. So, you know, in terms of sales, Drake has sold more than him. But what are we saying, boys? Like, what one is actually better? As a let's start off with what we preferred sonically and what we preferred lyrically. So,
okay.
Sonically, H, what are you saying?
I say sonically, yeah. I'm not going with Ye, innit?
Okay.
And I touched on it before. The reason I'm going with Ye is because at least man tries to go outside the box, you understand? Like he will try and sort of do stuff that's, I wouldn't say out of his comfort zone, but he will experiment. And I like that. Even not all the time it's gonna work, but I appreciate the fact that he will try it. With Drake, he just plays it way too safe, innit? You understand? Like I get what you man are saying. Like, I personally feel like I'm getting more songs of CLB than Donda. But the reason I'll pick Donda is because at least, you know, I don't really know what I'm getting with Ye in it. You understand? Like I'm always like, okay, cool, this is a bit different. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not like your typical. Like it's not what I hear on the radio all the time, innit? You know what I'm gonna say? And Ye will take risks. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to Drake, like you've been doing the same shit for like 5 or 6 years. You understand? Like when you gonna change? But I said to you man before, like one of our earlier videos, like I feel like Drake's reached a point where he's just so in his comfort zone that he you know what I mean? Like he just.
You said he won't make a classic.
No, he won't.
He doesn't care about it. That's what you said.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Like I mean, bro, you've been talking about the same shit for how long? Like you know, like and it's not. I don't think it'll ever change now. Like I remember I said to Kate that I thought like, bro, like that Drake will actually attempt to try and do something different because, you know, I think this album was meant to come out last year, but because of obviously the pandemic, you know, it got kind of shelved. So I said to Kay, you know what? I actually think Drake will make a good album because he's actually got time now. Do you understand? He's actually got time to make it. So, and obviously he came with this whole certified lover boy persona, which was a bit like, it was a bit like this, you know what I mean? So I thought, yeah, do you know what, Drizzy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's actually trying to do something different, innit? So I said to KK, like, I actually think that, you know, Drake's gonna not make a classic, but make a very good album. But here we are. I should have known. And I should have known. Same shit, copy paste. You feel me? So yeah, like funny enough, I think I'm taking more songs off of CLB than Donda, but I'm gonna give it to Donda because of, you know, the fact that at least Ye will try to do something different in it. You know what I'm saying? And sonically, I think like sonically Donda's better anyway. You know what I mean? Even though it's just way too many songs, I still think it's sonically better.
Okay, what are we saying? Sonically.
Both for me, I found the albums to be both terrible. For me, we're getting similar sonic theme. Well, for me, from Kanye, like this is dark Kanye that we have dark Kanye before. Obviously, the religious element is probably the newer element, in terms of the greater presence it has in his music than what we had before. With Drake, sonically, we are getting the same cut and paste for a very, very long time. So I don't know. The only reason why I will pick Certified Lover Boy, and like I said earlier on, again, it's because of I'm not getting unfinished product. I'm actually getting stuff that has been finished. And although, you know, Kanye does touch upon the religious element, which adds different sonics to it, I still have to pick Drake because of how it just sounds polished and finished, even though it is a poor album. So for me, I just go with Drake.
I agree with you there, man. I feel like one of the most frustrating things about Donda, like we've touched on, is it just feels unfinished, fam. And because it feels unfinished, I feel like I can't give it that, you know, I kind of feel like there's so many things that could be realized. There's so many more things you could do. And like we've all said, it's too bloated as well, fam. Yeah. Like if it was a concise listen, I kind of feel like it'd be easier listen. And with that, I would appreciate more elements and stuff. But it kind of got to the point where it kept that freaking H was saying, like, bruv, it became it was long. It was hurting my brain to listen.
Yeah, do you get me? No, it is. It's very hard to listen to still.
Hard to listen to, fam. Hard to listen to. And that's not to say like I don't like it, but it's to say that I prefer Certified Lover Boy. There's much more variation. there was a lot more in terms of like finished product. Like we can listen to a song and be like, yeah, he meant to do this and it was done. And yeah, fam, I would just go with that.
It's certified love, but it's an easier listen, isn't it? That's what it is. Like you can get through it, you understand, and like it's not really like a slog in it. With Donda, it was a slog, I can't lie. It was a slog to because it's too bloated, you understand? It's too bloated. So now I hear what you man are saying. Like I somewhat agree in it, but I'm just picking Donda because because of the what I'm saying.
Difference, a little bit in difference.
Yeah. Even though it does sound unfinished, I do agree with you, man. But at least like with Kanye, I don't really know what I'm getting in it. I'm saying he would try something different with Drake. It's like same formula, innit? You understand? I've heard this before, so
yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, let's touch on lyrics. Yeah, one thing, that I will say right now is lyrically, Donda is better, fam. And the reason I say that, without a shadow of doubt, Donda is better, fam, lyrically, fam. And the reason I say that, is because Kevin mentioned this certified lover boy persona, fam. This guy didn't even touch on it, fam. He didn't touch on this persona whatsoever, fam. Like for me, like when you look at the album cover, I was telling H doesn't like it, but I quite like the album cover. The certified lover boy. I think it's good, fam. Like when I saw the album cover and I just saw bare pregnant women, I was like, we're gonna get toxic masculinity. No,
we're gonna get Future in it, Future Drake,
Future, but I was like, bro, we are gonna get toxic Drake, like certified lover boy, like, bro, I can run through these hoes. I was waiting for it. I was waiting to hear it, and I didn't hear any of it, fam.
No, I can't. I want to object. I think we do get that. I think there is.
Where?
There is some of the records that he sort of does wayward thing. I can't specify, but there is some of those records where he's just again like. What's it called? He's ghosting on girls. I think it was one of those records and not replying back to them. So we get element of it, but I do agree with you that it's not a strong present. It's not like we don't feel the conflict. We're not imbued with it. If we were, then 100% that would have what's it called? That would have played more to the title of the album, but we don't.
And okay, like I said, okay, you may be right in that regard, but it's like we may only get that for like a couple songs. That's what I'm saying. Like this thing is certified lover boy, so I'm expecting more of these moments. You understand?
Yeah, 100%.
Even piggyback off what Jay said as well, like bro, like man shaved the heart in his head. You understand? he's been doing it for the past year, so you're thinking, raw, like. You know what I mean? Like, man's gonna play up to this persona, like it's gonna reflect on the album, and bro, might as well not have done that. It's a waste, fam. It might as well, you know what I mean? Just say that you're dropping, bro.
A big waste is a big waste. And the thing is, it's more light-skinned behavior from it's irrational.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
But fam, one thing that annoyed me, is because I kind of feel like, bro, listen, Drake, come talk to me in it, fam. Because at this point in your career, what I expected from Certified Lover Boy is Drake is a bachelor. He had a child out of wedlock by accident, as we all know. Pusha T exposed it. I would have thought he would be talking about the conflict between being this persona who is Drake, but also trying to find true love or something along those lines, and trying to find a middle ground. Like, I'm toxic, but also I need love. You get me? I would have preferred that. I would have preferred him talking his shit and then also saying, but also at the same time, you get me, I still want to be in love. You get me? I would have preferred that. Like, I think the only time I've got that is Way Too Sexy and things like that, where I was kind of like, okay, it's fun. And he's like, yo, I'm too sexy for all of you. You get me? Like, I needed more moments like that I didn't get yet. You're going, Kay?
Sorry, I 100% agree with you. Like, we don't get enough of those moments. There is a moment where he sort of acknowledges the sort of talk about like how he wants to sort of find true love, but most of the time he doesn't want it. And I think it would, like you're saying, it would have been nice if that contradiction was there throughout the album as well. But I just feel like with Drake, like we all know that he doesn't want to find true love, man. Like he just wants to run through girls and do it until he probably will settle down. Maybe he won't. Who knows? We're not in his head, innit?
Yeah, and I just feel like at this point in his career, man, I just expected, because Drake is at the peak of his powers, isn't it? You understand? Commercially, I don't know if he's at the peak of his powers artistically. I think he hasn't really been that since, if you're reading This Is Too Late, I think he peaked then, which is kind of mad, isn't it? But it's like when Kanye was at his peak artistically, man was, you know what I'm saying, dropping dimes left, right, and center. Do you see what I'm saying? And like I just feel like, you know, at this point in his career, man, like Drake is just, you know, like he's just, again, he's at the peak of his powers commercially. I just expected more in it. You understand? I don't know why in it, but I just expected at least, yeah, you know, this again. I thought we were getting something different in it. You understand? With this whole Certified Lover Boy persona. So I expected this album to, like, you've been previewing this for a year. Do you understand? Like, there's no excuses no more, innit? Like, there's just no excuses, bro. Like, you ain't touring, you ain't been, you know what I mean? Like, like, bro, you've been at home, innit? So you've had time, and this is what you give us.
He's gonna blame his broken leg for that's what
he's broken leg.
Broken leg.
That's what I'm saying.
Dog.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, but bro, like, so that's what I'm saying. There's literally no hope no more, innit? Like, that's it.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I kind of feel like to touch on Drake one more time, fam. When it comes down to it, you raise a really good point where when Kanye was at his peak, statistically, he was dropping 10 out of 10s. You get like we could say the same about like Jay-Z. We could say the same about like so many other rappers. Like when they're at their peaks.
Yeah, Outkast as well. Right?
Outkast commercially and critically, they were doing everything. They were hitting balls out of the park, scoring wonder goals from 30-yard strikes, fam. And with Drake, commercially, 100% we can say that about him. But critically, lyrically, we can't, fam. We can't.
It's true. There's been no growth. You understand? And even deeper, this quick, even when Jay-Z and Kanye were at their peak, at least they gave you, like, I mean, Jay-Z came with 444. You understand?
Yeah, that's a very good album, by the way.
Kanye came with Kids See Ghosts. You understand? Like even though these men were at their peak artistically, like they still came with like one or two great albums. Drake's been out of his peak artistically since, you know, to 2015, but it's been 6 years. Man's dropped like 4 or 5 projects in that space. You understand? Including Dark Lane demo tapes and a couple of mixtapes. Bro, they've been, you know what I mean?
So like with that being said, fam, what were you saying about I was about to say, what were you saying about Donda lyrically? H, you said that you prefer it much more than Certified Lover Boy. Why?
I think obviously there's moments where we get that vulnerability from Ye. Obviously when he's talking about, you know, Kim, understand? And then
by losing his kids, isn't it?
Losing his kids and losing his marriage, feeling like he's losing his marriage, understand? You know, and obviously moments where he's talking about his mom, how he feels lost since she you know, left him and stuff like that. So I do feel like obviously there's moments where Kanye does show that vulnerability and he does sort of like, you know, throw it back to go deep and throw it back to the old Kanye. Understand, like, you know, even though it's not done consistently and it's done in very few moments, I do feel like he does tap into that bag, innit? You understand? He does tap into that bag, but I would have liked for him to have done it more. Like, I would have loved for that Andre 3000 track to be included in this.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I feel like that instantly would have been like the song of the year, innit? You understand? You know, if it did make the album, but yeah, man, I just feel like Kanye, like, there are moments where he challenges himself in it, you know, like on this album, and he digs deep lyrically. Whereas like Drake, like, I mean, we've touched on it many times, but it just doesn't. And it's with Drake, is very surface level, isn't it? You understand? Like most of the time on Certified Lover, but with Kanye, we do get that raw emotion on some of the tracks in it. So yeah, for me, that's another reason why I'll go with Kanye. You know what I mean?
Okay, what were we saying lyrically? I know you're not a fan of both of the albums, but if you were to pick one lyrically, which one would you go for?
I can't lie, it's actually quite hard. And the reason why I'm saying that is also because partially listening to music, you know, the words also sort of draw you in. And I didn't find that any of these albums doing that for me. And to be honest, I didn't care what both of them were saying. I didn't care what both of them were doing. Because I'm like, yo, this is a never-ending circus wheel, fam. Do you get me? So I found it quite hard to actually pick lyrically of who that I thought maybe Donda because of the Larry Hoover thing for better or worse. So I'll probably go Donda, maybe. Okay. I think I'll go Donda. I'll probably go Donda. My opinion probably could change, but I'll go for Donda because of that. But other than that, they're both terrible albums. Yeah. What about you, Jay?
For me, it would be Donda, fam. It would be Donda. I think the features are actually better than Certified Lover Boy as well.
Okay, yeah.
On certain tracks that you were talking about, like the features were very heartfelt, fam. Like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, sorry, yeah. So actually, no, you're right. So I actually do agree that Donda is the better lyrically because of the reason that you just said that. So sorry, go on.
Yeah, the features are very heartfelt. Some features you could tell, like when people get onto a premium artist's album, they're like,
They push themselves. That they push themselves. Do you get me?
Apart from the baby, you know.
Yeah, apart from the baby. Oh yeah, but or Soldier Boy as well was.
You got kicked off the album. Soldier Boy is coming back, fam. Don't worry about my big breakup, fam. But yeah, no, 100% for me. Like, even though I thought like Kanye was unfocused and the whole project was unfocused, the features were very focused, fam. Like in their element, they were very focused and they were very good features, fam. And I thought like for me that took it above Certified Lover Boy and those good tracks, fam. So like if I was to get down to like the nitty gritty, fam, and talk about, because even like if we're gonna talk about like for me, I feel it's very important to talk about the album art and stuff like that. And like I can't lie, like Donda would have been better if the actual album was better, as in the album art would have been better if like, because it's just black, isn't it?
Nothing. Yeah.
You get me? And if you kind of tapped into that, like I'm lost basically, I'm nothing, I would have been like, hey, what? Wavy, you get me? It's not like a black album hasn't been done before, but just, you know, when you've got that narrative and that context, it's better. But for me, Certified Lover Boy, fam, like when I saw that album cover, I remember I was telling H, fam, I was like, yeah, I can't lie, I think it's kind of wavy, fam. It's kind of wavy, fam, so simple, but also at the same time, I'm like, I get it, Certified Lover Boy. Yeah, I get it. What do you guys think about the album covers?
Yeah, I mean,
go on,
I just feel like with like, you know, it being black in it, I just felt like it just didn't mean anything. It kind of just really is a metaphor for me in terms of like it showed me that this album was very rushed or unfinished. You understand me? Yeah. Because when has he ever done like a blank album cover before?
But the thing is, he did it for years and it worked.
Oh shit, did he?
Yeah, it was a blank one. But it's a similar, it's a similar theme in terms of like
I swear
complete nothingness. If that was
it completely blank though?
It was blank. It was a blank CD with the red tape on it.
Yeah, blank CD with red tape, fam. But it worked.
But it had like a red tape in it. You understand? It wasn't completely blank. Yeah. So I just, and again, Jay, it goes back to again, for me, this album just feeling rushed, because I hear what you're saying about like even the album coming out Sunday. Obviously, maybe it fits the theme, but to me, I don't think that's it, because Jesus is King didn't come out on a Sunday, and that's more of a gospel album. You understand? You feel me? So like, yeah. That's more of a, like, there's cursing in this album. You understand that? There's swearing in this album. So I feel like, I just feel like this whole thing was just rushed in it, you know. And then it was Kanye coming out, which obviously I know it's not the truth, but Kanye coming out and saying that, they released it without my permission. Nothing gets released without Ye's permission in it. You understand? This is that real. Like, so yeah, I just feel like the Black Album cover, man, it's just, you could do better than that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's just. And obviously the Certified Lover Boy, and I know obviously we had the conversation. I don't really, I hear you. But do you know what it is? For me, that album cover would have been wavy if it followed the theme of the album. Do you understand? Yeah. But it didn't. Do you get it? So it's like, why did you put it there? You understand? Because you didn't follow that Certified Lover Boy theme. So you just put it there just for the sake of it. You understand? I can't lie. In terms of a meme-worthy content, I mean, it's look how it's being sort of like memed.
Companies are lapping into it.
Companies are loving it, man.
Yeah. Drake knows what he's doing. Just in terms of the marketing, Drake knows what he's doing. Drake and his team in it, they know what they're doing. But I just thought it was just a bit tacky. So obviously, when it comes to album art, I can't even lie. Both of them were shit to man, innit? But I don't know, if I had to pick one, bro, I'll go with Drake, innit? Okay. But I still don't like the album art work.
Okay, what were you saying?
I don't know. I mean, like Henry was just saying, when I saw Certified Lover Boy, I had no response. I
had no response.
I had no response. There was nothing negative or positive that came in my head. I was like, I saw it and I was like, okay, then I moved on. Do you get me? There was no reaction. And with what's it called, Donda, it being black, I think it kind of, like I think it was H was saying, it just personifies what the whole album is. It's just completely unfinished, completely rough and completely rushed. So I'll pick Donda. I pick Certified Lover Boy as an album cover. Because at least Drake is, I don't know, trying to communicate something. Even though he does not do in full detail. But really and truly, it's just nonsense.
And before you go as well, just to mention that, because the album's named Donda, you would think that there'll be like something.
Adding on to your point, there were like other album covers.
The old ones were
the old ones were better. Yeah,
nice.
That's what I'm saying. Like you think that there'll be something to sort of like, you know, symbolize his mum or something in it. It's named Donda. It's named after your mum. So the fact that it's just blank, it just makes no sense to me.
I can't lie, he didn't do good enough job to make an album that was about his mum. Was that a tribute? It was not a good enough job, you get me? And I don't understand why he put himself under pressure to do that. Like, it's unnecessary pressure that you do not need, do you get me? Like, don't do that to yourself. Like, be kind to yourself and be like, yo, I'm not gonna do it. But obviously, who knows why he makes some of this decision? Even the whole rollout, it just doesn't make any sense, do you get me? Like, it's all just... Well, you know what, it is what it is.
It doesn't make sense whatsoever. So I guess the question we're going to come to right now is desert island. If we was on a desert island,
oh god,
and then someone had a gun to our head and said you have to pick one of these albums right now, and this is what you'll be listening to for eternity, fam.
Oh god,
what album would you rather listen to?
Oh god, fam, I can't lie. Shoot me, bro. I don't take it.
Like, shoot me now. Shoot
me, fam. Like, oh my god.
I think for me, let me just start. This is gonna sound mad controversial. It's gonna sound mad controversial, innit? I don't even know how I'm saying this, but even though I did say that, you know, Donda is the better album artistically, and I still think it is. I just think I'll choose Certified Lover Boy because it's easy to listen to.
Yeah. It'll make your existence much easier on the island.
Yeah, like it'll just make it, you know, bro, like it's just make it like, it'll just, you know what I mean? Like just slap it on, just listen to it. It's not hard, you know what I mean?
Did you get me?
Yeah, like I'll just think,
you might find yourself dancing to Way to Sexy as well.
Yeah, so I'll pick Certified Lover Boy reluctantly though, innit?
There's a gun to your head, fam. So
yeah, did you get me, fam?
Yeah. For real.
Hey, what you say? Guns to your head.
I think I echo Henry's thoughts, man. But I can't like, one thing I do like about Donda, that and you could like it more by inputting your own ideas and what you want the album to be, and also, you know, trying to somehow get deeper into some of the religious element to it as well, that could make it a bit more fulfilling experience. But then that's giving the album too much credit that it doesn't even exhibit. So yeah, I think I'll also pick Certified Lover Boy, because at least when Way Too Sexy comes on, I can laugh, you know. I can laugh in this dark existence from on my own, fam. So yeah, what about you, Jay?
I'm saying the same, fam. It's Certified Lover Boy, fam. We'll get to a point when I'm on a desert island. After listening to 27 tracks for like 27 years, bro, I'll be like, I need to end my life. Bro.
Yeah,
it's too much, fam. And also the album's a bit depressing as well, fam. So I'll be like, fam, I need something happy, fam. Yes, it'll be Certified Lover Boy, fam. So guys, you had it here first, man. Reluctantly, with a gun to our head, the Snow Color Boys have picked Certified Lover Boy over Donda, fam. You get come for us, Kanye fans. We're waiting for you, fam. Bro. Want to thank you guys for listening to our video. Comment, rate, subscribe one more time, just to echo the sentiment at the beginning of the video. Please help us get to 1K. We're so close, guys. We need you there. And when we get to 1K, there'll be something special. Maybe a giveaway.
Someone spreading cheeks.
Live on camera, fam. We'll make it happen, fam. Forget YouTube. We'll make it happen, fam.
Someone do something disgraceful, fam.
Someone will do something disgraceful that everyone will remember. All right, guys? So imagine what happens if we get to 10K, fam. Just remember that, guys. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Tell us your thoughts, man. Let us know what you think, which album you think is better, what you like, what you don't like. Get right there into the comment section. But anyway, au revoir from us.
Peace, people.